Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel of Basic Electrical Engineering. Myself Pankaj Shah. And in previous videos you have seen the chapter AC circuits. In previous video we have analyzed one AC circuit which was having an element as an inductor. Here we are analyzing an AC circuit which is having an element as a pure capacitor. So as I told you in the previous video, that is a pure inductor or a pure capacitor means whenever it is manufactured, then the resistance of the material you have used is neglected. But in practical life, there is no term like a pure inductor or a pure capacitor because it must have some resistance. But here we assume that there is no internal resistance is available in that capacitive circuit. So it behaves like a pure capacitive circuit. So one must have a question, then why we are studying pure capacitive circuit? Because whenever we are going to study a real capacitor or you can say a practical capacitor which is having some resistance, then it will be quite easy if we have analyzed that circuit without resistance because calculations are very easy. So that's why to take a reference from this theory, that's why we are studying pure capacitive circuit. So let's see the pure capacitive circuit. So you can see this figure. In this figure, we have considered one capacitor. So capacitor is nothing but basically two electric plates placed parallel to each other. And inside that plates, one dielectric medium is placed. So whenever we are applying some source of energy, and here you can see in this figure, the source of energy is nothing but a voltage, AC voltage. So whenever we are applying this AC voltage to this capacitor, then some charge will be stored by the capacitor plates. C is the capacitance of this capacitor connected in this circuit, whereas Q is the charge stored by this capacitor. Vt is nothing but the instantaneous value of the voltage applied to this circuit, and this Vt we are taking as a reference. So the equation of this Vt is nothing but Vt is equals to Vm sin omega t, as we have taken in both the theories of the resistor and inductor, where Vm is the maximum value of the voltage and I is the current flowing through this circuit. So now our aim is just saying, our aim is to find the equation of current, phase angle between voltage and current, to draw the waveform, to draw the phasor diagram and to find the power consumed by this circuit. We have seen that in pure inductive circuit there is no consumption of power because in pure inductive circuit resistance is negligible. We have neglected the resistance. So there is no draw. So in one cycle inductor consumes the power and in another cycle it gives back power to the source. So there is no consumption of power. Now we need to find the same for this circuit. So first let's find the equation of current. So for that we know one basic formula of capacitor. And the basic formula of capacitor is Q is equals to C, where Q is the charge stored by this capacitor at any instant, C is the capacitance of this capacitor, and V is the instantaneous voltage applied to this circuit. And we have the equation of instantaneous voltage as Vt is equals to Vm sin omega t. So you can put Vt is equals to Vm sin omega t in this equation. So our equation will be Q is equals to C Vm sin omega. Now we know that the equation of current is nothing but the rate of change of charge passing through any electric circuit. So we can say that from this equation you can see that I is equals to dq by dt. In place of this Q, you can put equation of Q as Q is equals to CV. And in place of V, we have placed that Vm sin omega t. So you can place the equation as I is equals to d by dt in bracket instead of Q, we will put C Vm sin omega. So in this equation, I is equals to d in bracket C Vm sin omega t upon dt. This C and Vm is constant. So you can take the C and Vm out of that differentiation term. So now only you have to differentiate the term that is sine omega t. And the differentiation of this term, that is sine omega t, is nothing but the cos omega t. But we are differentiating this equation with respect to time. So here the term is sine omega t, so the differentiation will be cos omega t into omega. So here we have the equation as I is equals to C Vm omega into cos omega. So now we have Vm and omega c. So if you want to put this omega c in the denominator term, then what you have to do is 1 upon omega c that you have to do. So here you can see that I is equals to Vm upon 1 upon omega c into cos omega. Now we know that Vm upon something. So 1 upon omega c is known as the Xc, and Xc is the capacitive reactance, just similar to Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that V upon R is equals to I. In the previous theory, we have defined that Vm upon XL is Im because XL was the inductive reactant. And here also we will use the same, that is Vm upon Xc is nothing but the Im, that is the maximum current. So now we have the equation as I is equals to Im into cos omega t. But our voltage, reference voltage equation is in sinusoidal manner, and here our equation of the current is in cosine form. So we cannot combine this two quantity. So to convert this cos into sine, you have to use the trigonometrical formula. So if you convert this cos omega t into sine omega t, then it will be I is equals to Im sine omega t plus 90. Here you cannot take omega t means 90 plus omega t that you have to take. You cannot take 90 minus omega t. In the previous theory, we have taken 90 minus omega t because one negative sign was already there outside that bracket. So if you take 90 minus omega t, and that negative sign will make omega t positive. So cos omega t is nothing but sine omega t plus 90. So from this equation, we can say that the voltage and current having these two equations. So V is equals to Vm sin omega t and I is equals to Im sin omega t plus 90. So we can say that in this case of pure capacitive circuit, voltage and current is having phase difference of 90 degree. And here positive 90 indicates that the current leading from the voltage by 90 degree. In the pure inductive circuit, it was minus 90. So minus 90 was lagging. Current was lagging behind the voltage by 90 degree. But here current is leading from the voltage by 90. So let's see the waveform of this pure capacitive circuit. So again we have to draw the x-axis and y-axis, and on the x-axis that you have to take the angle theta, or you can say omega t, and on the y-axis you have to take the quantity, that is voltage and current. First we will draw the waveform of voltage, and voltage is taken as V is equals to Vm sin omega t. There is no angle after omega t, so that means this is our reference quantity. So voltage waveform will start at 0 degree and completes its full cycle at 2 pi, 0 to 360 degree. So voltage is drawn like this. Now you want to draw the waveform of current. But current is leading from voltage by 90 degree, and leading means current will start before the voltage has been started. So you can see in this figure, current is started 90 degree before the voltage is started. So current is leading from the voltage by 90 degree. So that means if our voltage is completing its full cycle at 360 degree, but current will complete its full cycle just before 360 degree, that is 360 minus 90. So that means you can say that current is completed at 270 degree. So this is known as the leading. Now let's talk about the phasor diagram. So to draw the phasor diagram, you have to first draw our reference quantity, and our reference quantity is voltage. So you have to draw first voltage at whatever degree it is, and here voltage is having 0 degree, so we have drawn voltage on the x-axis. Now this phasor diagram is always rotated in anti-clockwise direction. So if our quantity is in leading, means it is having positive angle, then it will be upwards, and if our quantity is having negative phase angle, then it will be downwards. Means for leading it should be up, means in upside, and for the negative sign, for the lagging quantity, it should be downside. So here current is having the positive 90 degree. So current will be drawn 90 degree upside of this voltage. So this is nothing but the phasor diagram of the pure capacitive circuit. Now let's derive the equation of the power consumed by this pure capacitive circuit. And to find the average power consumed by this capacitive circuit over one complete cycle, first we need to find the instantaneous power, that is the power consumed at any instant by this pure capacitive circuit. So the instantaneous power P is equals to V into I, that is the instantaneous voltage into instantaneous current. Now let's put both the equation that we have derived in the last slide, that is V is equals to Vm sin omega t and I is equals to Im cos omega t, or you can say Im sin omega t plus 90, but it will be converted again back to cos. So our instantaneous power is equals to Vm sin omega t into Im cos omega t. So Vm and Im is constant, so it can be taken out from that bracket, and we have to multiply and divide this equation by 2. So if you multiply and divide this equation by 2, then it will be Vm Im by 2, and in bracket it will be 2 sin omega t into cos omega. And we know that 2 sin omega t into cos omega t is nothing but sin 2 omega. So basically our instantaneous power is having the equation as Vm Im by 2 into sin 2 omega t. So Vm Im by 2 into sin 2 omega t is the equation of the instantaneous power. But what if we want to find the average power consumed by this pure capacitive circuit over one complete cycle? So for that you can see this equation, and in this equation we have derived the equation of the average power. So P average is equals to, you have to integrate. You want to find the power for one complete cycle. So you have to integrate the instantaneous power in the limit of 0 to 2 pi. So integration limit is 0 to 2 pi P instantaneous with respect to theta divided by 2 pi. Why we want to prove the 2 pi? Because we are finding the average power, and to find the average you must have to prove the base. So now let's put the equation of the instantaneous power, and instantaneous power is having the equation by Vm Im by 2 into sin omega t into t omega t divided by 2 pi. So this Vm Im by 2 upon 2 pi, that is 4 pi, it will be outside this integration. So it will be Vm Im upon 4 pi is outside of this pi. And in integration it will be 0 to 2 pi sin 2 omega t d omega t. So now you have to integrate sin 2 omega t, and the integration of sin 2 omega t is nothing but minus cos 2 omega t upon 2, and the limit is 0 to 2 pi. Now what you have to do is, you have to take this negative sign outside of this bracket, and you can take 2 outside of this bracket also. So it will be minus Vm Im upon 8 pi, because Vm Im upon 4 pi was already there, and you have taken this negative divided by 2 outside this bracket. So it will be minus Vm Im upon 8 pi. So now you have to put the limit. So our integrated term is cos 2 omega t. So now you have to put, instead of omega t, first 2 pi. So it will be cos 4 pi minus the lower limit, and lower limit is 0. So instead of omega t you have to put 0. So cos 2 into 0, so it will be 0. So it will be cos 4 pi minus cos 0. And we know that cos 4 pi is having value 1, and cos 0 is also having value 1. So it will be 1 minus 1, and 1 minus 1 will be 0. So we can say that the average power consumed by the pure capacitive circuit is also 0. Means capacitor does not consume any power from the source. So that means in one half cycle, capacitor will ask power from the source, and in another half cycle, it will give that power back to the source. So basically capacitor does not consume any power. But if this capacitor is having some resistance, then resistance of that capacitor will always consume some amount of power. But we have seen a pure inductor and pure capacitor circuit, so that means a pure inductor and pure capacitor circuit does not consume any type of power. And this theory will help us to understand N series RL and series RC circuit. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned.